My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Now, this is a movie that I've been looking forward to. Just with the plot of Nicolas Cage playing himself, getting caught in a life and death situation, just sounded perfect to me. And then you've got the title, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and I just couldn't have been more excited for this movie. But then I saw the trailers, and the trailers to me looked really bad, so my expectations were lowered a bit, and after watching this movie, I did not like it at all. Now, the reason why we love Nicolas Cage so much is because he's a wild card. You never know what you're gonna get with him. Like, you get a movie like Face Off, which could have just been a cliche action movie, but he just gives it his all, and he just really elevates that movie. He's also in other action movies like Con Air and National Treasure, and then he also is in movies like Leaving Las Vegas, where he actually won an Oscar for that movie for giving a very subtle performance. And then you've got performances that are so crazy and over the top that you don't know if it's brilliant or awful, like in Vampire's Kiss. And he's just an actor who's a complete enigma, and I love him for that. There's literally an entire Community episode trying to figure out if he's brilliant or not, and I think he is, and he is really good in this movie. I think he carries it well. He hits those Nick Cage beats that you want him to hit, but I do feel like he gets outshined by Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is really good in this movie. He's been on the rise these past few years. He was the only good part in Wonder Woman 1984, and I think he hit every single character beat he needed to heal, and sometimes there's a scene where he goes from ha 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 to super serious. In that 180 switch, he pulls off so flawlessly, and the friendship between those two characters is the best part of this movie. Unfortunately, everything surrounding them is utter crap. Beginning with the fact that you've got this crazy, ridiculous premise, and the movie just plays it in the safest possible way. Like, it's such a goofy, over-the-top premise. Embrace it. But it just comes across as bland, unremarkable, and generic every step of the way. When the story actually reveals itself, I'm just like, wait, is this really the story we're going with? Oh, like, that's disappointing. Because it's a cliche, bland story that you've seen a billion times before. The only difference here is that Nicolas Cage is playing himself. But it's not enough to make the movie feel any different. You've got the CIA plot, which when I found out Tiffany Haddish was in this movie, I'm just like, oh no. Really? She is literally one of the worst actresses out there. She drives me nuts. She's not funny. And every time she was on the screen in this movie, I couldn't stand her. You've also got Ike Barinholtz, which is an actor who I don't really like at all. So I wasn't a fan that those two were in this movie. And the CIA plot itself didn't work for me in any way. And some of the jokes that come from it were just so outdated. Like, there's a scene where he has to knock a guy out and he accidentally poisons himself instead. And it was just this stupid joke that we saw 14 years ago and Get Smart in plenty of times since, and it's just like, it's time to end that joke forever. But it also really annoyed me in that moment because they're like, you've got 30 seconds before you pass out, and it takes him like 5 minutes to pass out. And I'm sorry, like, if it's going to take him 5 minutes to pass out, then say that. Don't say 30 seconds and then just have minutes pass. Just don't. It's dishonest. Then you've also got this entire cartel plot, which I couldn't have cared less about, just did absolutely nothing for me. And then you've got Nicolas Cage in his family drama, which I had zero investment in. It didn't hit a single emotional beat that it was trying to hit, and it just felt very half-assed. And just the way the family gets involved in the plot later on felt very contrived. But on top of all that, the movie just simply isn't funny. Like, whenever people reference movies in movies, I like that. You're just like, oh, okay, they're talking about movies, stuff I talk about. I enjoy conversations like that. But you can't have that be the foundation of your movie. It's gotta be the cherry on top. It can't be the entire sundae. And for this movie, they thought it would be enough to be the entire sundae. of just people talking to Nicolas Cage about his movies. This movie absolutely relies on those movie references, and it just makes the whole movie feel very one note. You know, the first little bit, you're like, ah, yes, that movie. I liked Nicolas Cage in that movie too. Then you're like, yeah, I like Nicolas Cage in that movie. And people are talking to Nicolas Cage about Nicolas Cage, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then after 5 minutes, you're just like, oh, is this all the movie's going to be? And the answer is yes, very much so. Honestly, this movie feels like a fan film in moments. Like, it just feels like someone was able to get Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal for a day, but he didn't have a script, so he just gets them to make it up on the spot. And that's what this movie feels like. It just feels really cheap. Any attempt at meta commentary here falls completely flat. This movie isn't smart at all. And I just wish we got someone like David Wayne to direct this movie. If you don't know who that is, he directed Red Hot American Summer, and they came together. The guy's hilarious, and he has a very specific kind of comedy that I think would work really well for this premise. Or even if we got someone like Logus Lanthimos, or just someone who can make this movie memorable, because this movie is anything but. You've got 2 good performances, and that's it. The plot is bad. It's not funny. It's overlong. The action isn't good. And it's a movie that just got old really fast. If you watch the first 5 minutes of this movie, you've seen everything this movie is going to offer you. I did not care for this movie at all, so I'm going to go ahead and give The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent a 3 out of 10. I will give credit where it's due. I do like it when a movie mentions the brilliance of Paddington 2, but it's not enough to save this movie. But have you seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.